Hi, Katia. You're the first one here. Yay! I'm just kind of waiting until we get a few more people here. I made my own envelope for our card today, so I'm taking a couple seconds to put that together. Hi, Dana. Dana's here. There, so look at that. I made my own envelope for today. I tried to look it up. Hi, Kelly. I know, look at all the goodies I have here. Isn't it fun? I'm so excited. So I was telling Katia that I made my own envelope. I couldn't find directions on how to make a legal size envelope online, so hi Pam, Pam's here. So I pulled one out, a regular white legal envelope, and I tore it apart and I measured it, and I I figured out how to make my own for today. And I thought it was funny, Kelly. I was so excited when I saw the size of your I know it's not cardstock, and I know it's not chipboard. But I was excited when I saw that because that's what I had decided to do, was something along those lines. And the taller kinds of cards are more popular. They're getting more popular. You see more people doing it. So that's what I'm doing. It's I think it might be called a number 10, and it's the size that fits in a legal size envelope. So I'm using Bristol Strathmore today, and it will fit this legal folded letter, which is 9 1/4 by 3 7/8 on this side. You have to double it like this. Okay, and so I made the envelope so it'll fit in the envelope when we're all done. The envelope is 9 1/2 by 4 1/8. See? Yay! I was excited, kind of proud of myself. So that's our card for the end, and here's our mat. But before I get started, I wanted to share just a couple of things that I've got. So these, I saw, Kelly, that you have some new Nouveau Dream Drops, and these are the Indigo Eclipse. This is the Indigo Eclipse, and this one is in stock in the store right now. And we did have Cloud 9, Fairy Wings, and Dragon Scales, but I know they're all gone. But I did make some little samples so that when they're all back in stock, if anybody's interested, just to get an idea. We'll see if I can hold these up. So there's the Cloud 9. And here's Fairy Wings. And this is a little swipe that I made just because you could even paint with them a little bit. So that's Fairy Wings. An Indigo Eclipse. And that is Dragon Scales. And then I did, just to get an idea of what it might look like on black cardstock, I used high tea. So I put it on black cardstock also. And the funny thing is on black, it's kind of hard to see it. Wait a minute, I got it there for a second. On black, Cloud 9, Fairy Wings, and Indigo Eclipse all look like the same color when I smear it. There you go, now you can see it better. Of course, Dragon Scales has that iridescent green color to it. So I thought that was pretty, and I thought it was a good way to show. Kelly says they're on back order, but I know I saw the Indigo, what is it? What did I just say? It's Indigo Eclipse. I saw that in the store. Is that correct? It's still in the store, but the other 3 are on back order. But I just thought I'd go ahead and share so that everybody can see those, and I made these for myself. Let me put those out of the way. And then before we get to this, let's talk about, today I posted this card from Avery, Elle, the pool party stamps. I posted that today, and I think the Avery, Elle stuff is so cute. So I wanted to give the Avery, Elle in the store a little bit of love. And so I pulled out some of the stamp sets that I have that last time I checked, they were still in the store. So this is the rainbows from Avery, Elle. And I think I'm going to make a shaker card with this. I think that'll be really cute. And there's the pool party. And you guys, these peekaboo pals are so stinking cute. So these are the summertime ones with the little floaty. And I have to tell you, if you haven't really seen them or paid much attention, go to Pinterest or go to Avery, Elle and look at all these cute peekaboo pals. I first fell in love with them at Christmas time, and I ordered some then. Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie says, cute card. Thank you, Bonnie. And then this die's already sold out. And then I love these cute ones. Look, for birthday parties, there's a sloth. I think Melissa loves sloths. And the elephant and the hippo. I mean, just so stinking cute. The peekaboo pals, you have to go look if you aren't sure. So all of these are in the store, and I just thought we needed to give them a little bit of love. And then that card that I made, and I'm going to be using all these soon, probably in the next month. So I wanted to share those. So Kelly says they are adorable, and they really are. So today, this is what kind of got me started with today. This is the Altenew Beautiful Peony stamp set, and this is in the store, and it's actually not as expensive as some of the Altenew. I know some people think some of the Altenew's too expensive. This is a little bit better price point. I think it might be $15.99, and these are the peonies. And what I did was I stamped the middle one, and then I cut masks out of Inkadinkadoo, and then I stamped these, and then I watercolored them with Zig real brush markers, and then die cut the hello out to create an eclipse card. And I really am happy with the way it came out. Can you see it? I love eclipse cards. So I'm happy with how that one turned out. I know we all love purple. So there we go. So I created this card, and I started thinking, how can I add the Altenew floral stamps that I love and mix it in with our Lavinia. Hi, Melissa. Melissa's here. Thank you, Pam. And so I decided that I would stamp, and I know we've been talking about masking and using gesso as a mask. So I'm going to add this beautiful peony with Lavinia on this legal size card. And I have to tell you, I am loving working with this size. So I'm excited to share this with you tonight. So I've already kind of started. This card this is Bristol Strathmore Smooth, and it's 3.5 by 8 7/8 inches. And that will fit I already put it away, our card base that I created, which is 9 1/4 and then 3 7/8. So you'll want to double it so that when you open it up, there's your card. So this will fit on here, and we can even add another background panel if we want to. And then it all fits in a legal size envelope, which this one, I told everybody earlier that I made this one earlier today. So it'll all fit and go in the mail in a legal size. I think they call it a number 10 envelope. I'm not sure. So let's get started. And the first thing I'm going to do is stamp. Let me get rid of some of this extra cardstock. I'm going to start by stamping my first flower. And I'm going to stamp all of my flowers in Versifying Clair Nocturne, because I am going to watercolor these with Zig water brush markers. Real brush markers, I think. And I have to tell you, I am loving them. So let's get this stamped. This is my first one. And the idea for this came about from, like I said, adding Altenew flowers into our Lavinia scenes. And I want it to look like our fairies are underneath the peony bushes in the flower beds looking up at the moon. And I can't wait for you guys to see this because I kind of practiced a little earlier today. And I love it. I was so excited. So what I'm doing first is, hi Sheila. So I'm stamping all of my flowers, and I already stamped and fussy cut masks out of Inkadinkado masking paper earlier just to save us time today. So let's see. Let me get another stamping block. And let's go ahead and lay down our mask, because if not, I'll forget. And sometimes these are tricky, trying to get this backing off. It takes a couple seconds to get it going. And I have already masked off our moon. You see, we've used that a couple times. I cannot get this off. I should have practiced earlier. Here we go. Okay, so I've got the first mask on. Now, let's stamp this next one. And I want it to look like the peonies are growing over and our fairies are sitting down here looking through them, but they're under the flowers. That's the plan. And now I'll go ahead and put this mask on before I forget this one. And let's stamp this next flower. I want to remember that I'm going to be putting my stamped Lavinia image in the middle, so I have to leave room. And let's go ahead with this one that we've already used on the other side. Oops. I almost turned my ink pad upside down. Let's turn this one just a little bit more this way. Okay. And now let's add some leaves. Let's mask this one off. And I only have one masked image of one mask of each image. Or actually, I do have another one. I do have a couple of others that I've already used. They just don't. Once you really ink them and use them a couple of times, they really don't stick as well. So we'll see how it goes. Let's do some leaves now. And I need to remember. Okay, this is the one that I have. So let's get this one stamped. Let's put some leaves coming up here. And it always looks messy. You forget when you have the masks on, you think, oh no, why does it look so messy? But it'll look better, trust me. So let's add this one up here. Hi, Tracy. Tracy's here. Pam says she loves that ink. Are you? Oh, hi, Francis. Francis is here. Thanks for joining us. Pam, what ink is it? The VersaFine Clair for stamping these images? I love it. And wait until you see what it's like to watercolor with it, with the zigs. Oh my, I love it. Let's just add an image here. I don't want to get too crazy. And then maybe one more. And I need to remember I do not have a mask here. So let's just do this one going this way. Just this little edge. And hopefully that will be enough for us. Let's see how it goes. Are we ready? So let's take these masked images off. There we go. Look at that. Love it. Okay, so the next step is let's get our background blended here. And you guys have seen this. I know you've got the blending down. Let me heat set our ink first just to be sure it's dry. You know, the VersaFine Clair dries pretty quickly. So, hi Angela. Hi Donna. Donna says, hello, what kind of ink are you using? Donna, I was using the VersaFine Clair in Nocturne to stamp my images. And the reason being, other than we know what a crisp image it gives us, I'm going to watercolor with my Zig brush markers. And it's the perfect ink for watercoloring. So let's put this out of the way. And first I'm going to blend. We're going to use Mermaid Lagoon, Blueprint Sketch, and Chipped Sapphire for our background tonight. And once again, I'm using my brushes. And I'm going to start out with Mermaid Lagoon to give us that little halo. Actually, I'm going to start with my smaller brush to give us that little halo around the moon. Nice and soft at first, and then building up the color. Now, you know what I just realized? I should not have taken my masks off yet of my flowers because I need to blend down here. So thank goodness I remembered. And I might have to use some that are not going to stick as well because I need them at the top and the bottom. So let's add these back on. Sorry guys, I forgot. This one goes here. And I am going to reuse maybe one from earlier today. See if I can get this one in here. It curled on me when I pulled it up. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay. Yay, Donna says her birthday is June 30th on Sunday. Happy birthday. Happy early birthday. Okay, this one should work right here. Perfect. And now let's cover up our leaves too. There's one. This one, when I was fussy cutting, it's one of those things where I accidentally cut one of the leaves off, but I think it'll work up here above this other flower. If I could get the mask off, or the tape backing. Goodness. There we go. And let's see. One more. This way. Oh my goodness. There's that one. One more, bear with me. That one is, oh, there we go, it's that one. These are the little things you don't think about before you go live. You don't realize how long it takes you to do these silly things in the craft room when you're all alone. Okay, here we go. It's worth it. Bear with me. It's worth it to take the time to mask these off. I'm going to tear that one. Okay, now we're ready to keep going. Except I need to turn this. Okay. Back to the mermaid lagoon. You guys, I don't know if you how often you work with masking or but it really is worth the effort no matter what you do or what kind you're using, because to me it is like magic when you pull it up. It really is. I I just think it's magical. Okay. That was Mermaid Lagoon. Now we're going to add Blueprint Sketch. Same brush. I'm going to try and remember to leave my little blue, my lighter blue around the moon and not go into that too much. I'm going right over my mask. Getting in the little nooks and crannies that may not be stamped. Try not to go under the mask that's kind of coming up a little bit. Okay, and now a little bit of chipped sapphire. And at the very end, when it's all said and done, I will go around the edges with black soot, and it really creates a dramatic look. But we're adding the chipped sapphire right now for the darker sky. And here's what I like. I don't know if you can tell how hard I am really rubbing right over my mask. And especially when it's the first time you've used it, it really takes the blending easily. It doesn't try to come up. And I'm going to go back over with a little bit of my Mermaid Lagoon. Okay, now let's, instead of me pulling up my masks, let's turn the paper this time. And, oh, I have a mess. Let's dribble some water for our starry sky. Get our heat gun. Now, some of the masks will start to want to peel up from the heat, so we want to kind of be careful. Dab this. A little bit more. Hi, Amy. I'm glad you made it. Thanks for joining us. Katia, thank you, Katia. I do. I love these blues. I think I was playing with them today, and I really thank you, Tracy. She says she loves the colors too. I just think they're so pretty. Okay, let's add just a little bit of our Mermaid Lagoon back in. And then just a little bit of the Blueprint Sketch to brighten this up just a little bit where we pulled some color off. And just a little bit of chip, no more chip sapphire, I think. Because remember, let's keep it a little bit bright because we'll be adding in that black soot. And that will help darken it. So now we can do our big reveal. Take off these masks, maybe. We have a little bit that got on there, but not much. I'll take it. Not too bad. And one more here. Ooh, that one did not go in the right spot. So let's fix that. Let's get one of these little markers, and first let's go, or these little brushes, and I don't know what I did there. Let's go in and fix this as much as we can. You guys, what did I do there? Oh my goodness. In the end, no one would notice it because like I said, we'll just add more black soot along that edge. And we'll do that there. Add in some chipped sapphire. We should be okay. I'm even going to add some right there. Okay. Not too bad. It's fine. We'll see if we can fix it. Maybe we'll add more leaves or something there. Okay. Let me see. Now let's pull our moon up. And I don't want to get my inky fingers on my moon. But let's rub that off. Now, let's get our white. I'm going to flip this over. Look how pretty that looks. It's just very dramatic. Very dramatic. Take some of that ink off that little brush. And the only reason, we masked this moon off, so it's bright. It's already a perfect bright white. The only reason I'm adding some white into it is so that I can add some of the color to give the shadows of the moon. And I kind of like the aura that we've already created. So I'm just going to softly take some of that white out, but I really don't feel like we need a lot of it on this one tonight. It already looks, but it does give it that dreamy effect that I do love. So there's that, and I'll use just maybe a hint of the Mermaid Lagoon. To give the idea of those shadows. You know, and there are some evenings where it looks brighter and it's not as gray as other times it looks. So I like this. I think this looks pretty. Ooh, I think that looks pretty. Very soft tonight. I love it. Okay. Easy, easy. Amy says it's good to show how easy it is to fix little oopsies. And I make a lot of those, Amy. I really do. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and do our ground right here. And I already have a stencil that I created, and I actually used it earlier today. So this makes it easy. I'm going to, let's see, do this one like right here. And for this, I'm going to use crushed olive, forest moss, and pine needles. And I'm going to start with forest moss and then add in some pine needles for the darker shade at the top. Let's see. Very softly along that edge. And then some, let's do crushed olives so we remember, so we have that down. Let's see. Oops, not holding the actual card. Okay, now back to the moss. And a little bit of pine needles for some dimension. Ready? Ooh, yay! Okay, let's do one more. Maybe to ground our little fairies. This is the forest moss. Then the pine needles. Ready? Ta-da! Oh, I love it. I never get enough of that. It's my favorite. I know, I get excited. But don't you guys get excited about your stuff? I do. There are a lot of times that I don't get excited, but on this, I love this. So, now the trick. Let's heat set this before we start on our flowers. Oh my goodness, I can't keep up with you guys. There's 12 more comments since the last time I looked. Okay. Okay, Kelly, what will you have in the store in a day or so? I missed that. Let's see. Oh, the brushes. We're talking about the brushes, I think. So Francis says, obviously, Erin, you don't ever clean your brushes. To be honest, Francis, I got a baby wipe out and I brushed them off with a baby wipe, and that was all I did. Hi, Charlene. Thanks for joining us. And that was all I did, Francis. That was it. Charlene, I love the brushes. I do. And I'll be honest, I didn't use them for a while when I first got them. But I love them. I use them all the time now for my blending. Kelly says that's what will be in a day or so. Melissa says you can wash them just in like warm soapy water. And I'll be honest, I thought about doing that and I forgot, and it's fine. Okay. So we still want to be careful. Now I'm going to get a different piece of paper here because I don't like it when it's dirty like that. Let's get rid of that. Now I have to tell you, this is really fun. I am loving my Zig markers. And my sister, it's all her fault. She was using them, and then I saw Christina Warner use them, and I am in love with them. So these are the colors. I am using geranium red, and the darker red will be carmine red. And we're going to go with red flowers today. And this is why I'm going to try to make this pretty fast tonight, because this card that I made with the beautiful peonies, it took me a while because I took my time. But I'm going to try to speed it up tonight. So normally the way I go is and I am not an expert watercolorer by no means. Melissa is way better than I am. But I try to do one petal and then move away and do another one and do them all over so that they can dry before I go back in and do another one next to it. I'll do that a little bit tonight, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do it too much. And lots of times, I love that these really are a brush. I'll just do little brush strokes, kind of like we do with Copic markers. And that just lays down some color for me. But it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go back in with water. So I just need to get some of this color down. And I turn my card just like in Copic coloring. Instead of trying to turn my wrist, I just turn the card. And I really just follow the guidelines as to where there would be shading and color from the stamped image. like I said, I'm just trying to find petals that are kind of further away from each other at first. I think I need my glasses on. And you know, the other thing I like is that these are really so forgiving. And you'll see once we start adding water, it is amazing. You can be so messy and imprecise, and it's just so it's so forgiving. Okay, let's start putting some water down. Now, here's my paper towel. And some people like to use a water brush, and I have one, but I found myself getting frustrated with it because the water wouldn't come out. So I'm just, these are the, what are these? The silver black velvet that Melissa recommended. And I do love them. I mean, I'm not a watercolor by any means, but they are nice to work with. So I just start laying down the color. And what I do is I kind of tap some of the water off the brush, and then I add the water at the end, and then let the color kind of move up into the water and then I kind of dab it. So that the majority of the color stays on the bottom, and then you can pull it up into where you've added water. And remember, that's why we use the VersaFine Clear, because you can watercolor over it. And remember also, the other thing is that the oxides, or if you were using distress inks, they are water based, and so we have to be careful and not get our water with our zigs onto our background, because it will react. And if you get a little bit too much, just dab it off with your paper towel. And you can kind of move it. You move the color where you want it, and you can pull it back. These markers just make it look so easy. They really do. I love it. Kelly says, hello Bluebird should be in on Saturday. So yes, don't forget, right now we have the Dreamerland is 20% off. The vendor of the month is Dreamerland, 20% off. Not on new arrivals, and also washi tapes. So that's good for a couple more days. And I know there's new Dreamerland coming in, and there's new Sugar Pea in the store. So if you haven't seen that, go look for those. And the new Hello Bluebird is so cute. You do need to go look for that too. So I'm just adding in more color here. For the sake of time, I'm just kind of going and adding it most everywhere that I know I'm going to need it. And hopefully I can keep it from running. We'll see. That's the trick. And you know, it's faster with zigs than it would be if I were coloring with Copic, but it's the same process. Lay down some color, add your water, add the water to it, but then you're going to go back in to help deepen your shadows. So right now we're working on just adding in this first layer. What do you think? I really liked this color when I was practicing today. At first I wasn't sure. Working with reds can be tricky. And once again, these markers just made it so easy. And I was thrilled with this color. Okay, let's add some water and see how these look. Thank you, Dana. Thanks, Pam. Water at the top and then pulling it back into the petals. And it's watercolor, so it can be a little messy, right? That's okay. And I do like to keep white on the petals. So that's why I try to start with the water at the end or at the tips of the petals and then pull it down towards the color, because it just helps create that highlight effect, like the sunlight on the tips of the petals. I think it makes it more dramatic. And then you can pull your color up with your paintbrush. And then while you still have color on it, when you've gone in further in, then you can take that back out to add a little bit of color someplace else that you need it. Uh-oh. See, I got a drop of water right there. That's going to wash that out. I need to be a little bit more careful. Okay, let's let this side dry a little bit and then move over to this side. Dana says, how do you not mess up my nails? You just can't see it, Dana. Oh my goodness, you should see it when I get out the alcohol inks. It is a mess. So I do. Normally I have ink all over the place. The problem is it doesn't just get on my nails. It gets on the clothes and on my rug and everywhere. And you've seen it before where I get my inky fingers all over the card too. Uh-oh. These brushes, they really do hold a lot of water, so you do have to kind of be careful and watch what's going on, and you might have to take more water off at times. But I love that you can just let those zigs really do most of the work. And I don't know how much any of you have like played with watercolors, but I'm finding it's more forgiving than you think when you first begin, because just like here, I can add more water to that petal and I can even dab it off and it soaks it back up. Almost like the spritzing and lifting technique we do with the distress oxides in the sky. You really can kind of do that with your ink. Or like this, I didn't add any more color, but I can go back in and add more water and pull that around. Okay, let's see where I've missed and where I might need some more, and kind of fill in. And remember, our edges, we're going to add in more distress ink, so the edges definitely don't need to be perfect. And another technique is if you can put water down first and then go in with your marker, almost like if you were using your paintbrush and putting color on it and then adding it to a picture. You can add the brush right to the water, and it's going to pull a lot of the color out right away, and then it will lose the color for a moment. But you can either wipe it on a paper towel and it comes right back, or just give it a second and then it'll come back. So there's some of the red. Let's let that dry a second. Let's go in with some of our greens, and then we'll go back in and add some shading. Oh, Sheila says it would be pretty. It would be pretty to have panels, 3 panels, and hang. I think so too. And I don't know if you've ever looked to see some of the other Lavinia videos, but they do. They create very large. I think it might be. I think the artist or owner might be Tracy, and her studio. She's got some very large pictures behind her of the Lavinia. And some of them, I don't know if you've noticed in some of the things that you've bought, but some of the Lavinia stamps are actually very large. You have to, if you want a certain size, you have to be careful, because some of them, even some of the fairies, are actually pretty big. So be careful and look at the measurements when you're ordering. Because if you're a card maker, you want to be sure you get the right size. So I'm just going in, and the leaves are even easier because you can just throw some color on there. And then you don't even have to use much water, because the brush of the marker does a lot of the work for you. And the colors blend together, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. And this is a good trick if you've got any of the white space that maybe your mask didn't work or moved. You can just use your marker there to fill that little bit in. And let's add just a little bit of shadow with that. Ooh, that looks good. I like those darker shadows in those leaves. That looks nice. Okay, let's add just a little bit of water to soften that up. Okay, now let's go in, and I'm not going to make a big deal out of this. Let's just add a little bit of the darker red for some shading. And this is nice too because I might not even need to go in with water when we do this. Once again, this is what's nice about these brushes. If we use the little strokes, just like we do with our Copics, very soft. What do you think? I really love this stamp set. To be honest, I wasn't sure at first. I like a lot of the Altenew layering stamp sets, and it just makes it easy. Although I end up coloring a lot of them nowadays, um, I just like them. I like the look of them, and sometimes when I'm not in a coloring mood, I like how easy it is. So this one, that the fact that it is more of a coloring stamp, I guess it kind of intimidated me at first, and I just wasn't sure. But boy, I think these look so pretty. And I'm not going to be as precise tonight as I would, just for the sake of us trying to get through the basics of it. I do want, see, like this, there's not enough highlight in this area for me. So I would go in and try to fix that. I might even add in um, another color, see what I could do with it. But for right now, we'll live with it. Maybe even pull some color up here. I'm just taking the water and softening some of those lines that I just drew. See, I think this flower is better because it has more of the highlights and you see more of the lighter colors and the darker colors. Tracy, I thought you were my sister at first when you said, "Good grief, Erin." That would be my sister chastising me about something. That is so funny. Okay. Let's color the middles and call it a day. Let me find a color. I didn't get one. Let's just color these in. The little middle part doesn't have to be a big deal. No one cares about that. All right, there we go. So there's our flowers. Now, are you guys ready? Here's our favorite part. Let's stamp our fairies. We're getting close. Here we go. Let me find them. Here they are. I have been dying to use the stargazing stamp since I got it. And I love this. So let's stamp these guys. Well, first let me see. How's this going to go? Ooh, this is going to work out perfectly. I love it. Okay, here we go. Thanks, Amy. Sheila, it makes me want to go to Hawaii. It doesn't take much for me to want to go to Hawaii, but you're right. Thank you. It does kind of look tropical. And that was the idea, that these little fairies are sitting under the peony bushes and they're so teeny tiny. No one else even notices them and they're just looking at the moon. And I do like, when I stamp a solid image with VersaFine Clair, I like to just let it sit there for a second and kind of soak into the paper. Are we ready? Big reveal. Ta-da! Oh, look at that. You guys, aren't they so cute? Oh my gosh. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, you know what I forgot to do, but it's okay. I can live without it. Is I forgot to do all my little splatters with the Altenew. You know, I have them sitting right here, even like the ink sprays. I always do my splatters. And I forgot, but that's okay. I can live with it. Oh my goodness. I love these guys. Aren't they so cute? Now, I will tell you, as my ink starts to dry, you can't see it, I don't think, but my guys are becoming a little bit more translucent. So, like later on, I might go fill in with a little bit of the VersaFine ink to kind of, kind of make that black a little bit darker. But I like it. So now let's fill in with some other good stuff here. I'm going to put my moon back on. Cover that back up as a mask. And put a couple of my flowers back on. And I'll show you what we're going to do. Let me see where this one goes. I think it goes like this. Yes, right here. Nope. I'm mostly worried about the top, so we just need to make sure we cover this top up. Now, need this one. And I'm not as worried about covering up those leaves. So let's see here. This is called Fairy Words. And I know Kelly has different kind of sayings and Lavinia stamps in, and I have a couple different ones. So you could use any one for this one. And I am going to use the Fantasia and just lightly ink here. And this is kind of, I'm leaving it right on the plastic, and I'm just lightly kissing it. Okay. A little bit more. Kissing that one. And then down here even. Right there. So just a little bit. Pull this off again. Just that kind of, a little bit of that mixed media influence there. That may not be everybody's cup of tea. That's okay. And down here, I think we need a little something. So I'm wondering about these little mushrooms. Let's put that in there. I'm thinking these little mushrooms and just a soft hint of color. Because I don't want it to detract from our little guys. Let's try Warm Breeze and see how it goes. I've used up all my blocks. Let's use this one. There, look at that. Cute. Let's put a couple over here. Right there. Let's do a second generation stamp. Okay. There. Now we're almost there in the home stretch. By the way, that was Warm Breeze with the little mushrooms. They're just mushrooms. So let's pull these off. Now, this always amazes me. This is beautiful. I love it. I'm very pleased with this one. The final little trick, let's heat set first. Katia says there are little poems too. Yes, I have actually a couple of, I have like one or two. And so you could use any of those for, for that, if you want that little mixed media kind of thing around there. Dana says they make big cards in the UK. just making sure that this VersaFine is. Thank you, Shamita. Did I say your name right? I don't want to say it incorrectly. Charlene says, "Did you need my Addie?" Well, I have to tell you, Melissa does the drawing, at the end of hers to see who's going to get the card. And I didn't want to steal her idea, but I do like that idea. But she does it so well. She hides the number and everybody picks a number. She's very good at it, I have to say. Okay, so there we've heat set it. Here, this is the final trick. I don't know why this does what it does, but all it is Distress Ink, black soot, Distress Ink. And you guys know this, you've all done it, and I don't know why this is such a big deal, but man, it adds the drama. And I am using my good old-fashioned blending tool just because it's what I have always used. It's already got the black soot well into the sponge, and this way I'm not dealing with getting any black on my blender brushes. I actually think my ink pad might be running out of ink. I think that the reason that this adds such drama is because by framing it with the dramatic dark edge, it pulls your eye into the middle and gives it that focal point. There you go. What do you think? Do you like the black soot around the edge? Blend this just a little bit down here with the crushed olive. I got a little crazy. There you go. What do you guys think? Thank you, Angela. And Pam says she would frame that and hang it up. I have to tell you, Pam, I'm becoming obsessed with the Lavinia myself, and I said that just to my husband the other day. I said, I think I would like to frame some of these and put them up. I do. There's just something, I said it last time, and Pam says, one for each of us. Well, everybody can create their own, Pam. and frame it and hang it up. And then we don't have to spend money on art because we make our own, right? So there you go, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I had a great time. Don't forget about the pre-order for the new Hello Bluebird. Don't forget to look at the Avery Elle. I'm telling you, give them some love. I love the Peekaboo Pals. Thank you, Katia. And Sheila says it looks like we're looking through a keyhole, and that's kind of, I wanted them looking through the peonies up at the moon. I love this stamp. So Hello Bluebird, pre-order, new Sugar Pea in the store. There's 20% off Dreamerland. There's new Dreamerland coming. Check out the Avery Elle. It's one of my favorites. And this, don't forget, this is the Altenew beautiful peonies that's in the store, and it's one of the less expensive sets. And I just, you know, I love it. You can do, look at the difference. I mean, we can do so many different things. And I like the idea of mixing our pretty stamped flowers with the magical fairies and the magical scenes of Lavinia. So let me know what you think, and I'll be getting this on the blog in the next couple days. And thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Have a great evening. Melissa's on Saturday. Don't forget. See you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.